Hey guys, we are back for Bandcamp Dailies. I don't know what number it is. Okay, so let's just go to the videos folder. We'll figure out what number it is. Where in the heck is Bandcamp Dailies? BC Dailies right here. It's a 44. Yeah, that's what I thought it was. Number 44. Okay, so we're here for Bandcamp Dailies number 44, and we have a listen. We have two listens actually. However, we've already made a video about Cries from a Defective Mind, so we're doing 2003. Acceptance, Then Anger. This is the first track from, well, it's the first track, but it's also the first track we're going to be making a video of from the album Acoustic Despair. So that's pretty interesting. Let's just go there right away. Okay, first of all, we have to change the artwork. So let's edit the album and let's do this. Let's upload some album art. Now we have to figure out where it is. I think I figured it out earlier today. It should be in the Bandcamp. Is it in art or Bandcamp? I don't remember. I think it's in Bandcamp. Acoustic. Yeah, it's this one. There you go. Okay, so let's update the album. Let's view the album. And there you have your updated artwork. By the way, I didn't want to do that. By the way, if we look at the folders here, Genie, here's the Genie folder. I think it was actually today. Oh, it was yesterday or today. I finally finished the script for the next EE video, which is entitled Genie. No, it's The Genie. Yeah, that's what it's going to be. It's going to be called The Genie. And so I finally finished the script. And tomorrow I'm supposed to be recording the scenes, hopefully. It is a little dependent, but hopefully I'm going to be doing that. So I might not be able to do a potential Bandcamp Dailies tomorrow. So I might have to take that off. However, yeah. And so this Genie video is going to be a banger. It's going to be a banger. I'm quite proud of the script. There are some funny jokes in there. And yeah, I'm pretty proud of it. The premise, especially, I talked about the premise actually I don't remember when, but I had mentioned that the premise came to me, I think like a day or two before I went to Mississauga for my Big City Todd excursion, where I was on vacation. And so the idea came to me, not for a video. It was just the premise came into my head. And it made me laugh a lot. And then like a day or two later, I was like thinking about it. I'm like, okay, I have to make a video about this. and so I wrote a bunch of stuff down in a text file, including jokes and whatnot and scenarios. And now the script is done. So now I just have to film the scenes and then edit the video. Editing the video will probably take a couple days. There are a couple video effects going on. So it's a rather high budget affair. I'm just joking, but there's a little bit of video editing that needs to be done. I have a text file right here. I want to make sure I said everything. Oh yeah, it's going to be a banger, but it's it's also, pretty strange. And it's also, it could be considered disturbing at times. So I don't know. Hopefully I didn't cross a line here. I tried not to, I'm trying to toe the line, but I'm not trying to cross it. I'm trying to toe it. So hopefully I didn't end up crossing it once all said and done. I don't think I did. I'm pretty confident that I didn't. So it's all in good fun, right? Right? Okay. So there's that. And yeah, it's pretty funny. I think there's this one specific scene in the video that it required some footage from one of her videos. And so I remember watching one of her videos like months ago, and a specific scene from that video would have fit perfectly for the scene that I want to make in my video. But I didn't remember what video hers was in. And so I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before, I would go to her channel and start hunting for that video. So I'm opening a few different videos, trying to figure out where that video that I saw is. And I couldn't find it. I couldn't find the video. However, I did find some other scenes that would be appropriate. And then I ended up clicking on this one video, and it starts, and I just start laughing because it's the absolute perfect scene that I need. I hadn't seen this video before, and so it's just like a couple seconds that I need. And this ended up being perfect, like the perfect scene. And so it made me laugh. And so that's going to make my video even better. So yeah, anyway, just thinking about the premise really makes me laugh. So keep your eyes peeled for that. That should be out within a week, hopefully. Okay, so I think that's all I needed to talk about that. All right, so now we're going to actually do the Bandcamp Dailies. Okay, so this is, I thought I felt something crawling on me. I don't, now that I had to extract that tick off of me the other day, I'm, extra aware of stuff crawling on me. Now we're doing the Bandcamp Dailies. This is Acceptance and Anger. This is the first track from my Acoustic Despair album. So get out your razor blades. You're going to be wanting to cut yourself when you're listening to this album. This is a really sad album. It's very, very sad sounding, very emotional, very all of that sort of stuff. By the way, I've never cut myself before. Don't cut yourself, kids. That's not a good thing to do. I don't understand the allure of the whole cutting thing. Like, are you trying to kill yourself, or like, I don't understand. I don't get it. Anyway, I haven't cut myself before. However, I have carved my high school girlfriend's initials into my arm. Not with a knife, but if I remember correctly, I used like a screw, the pointy end of the screw, and I would just sort of like dug it into my arm and dug, little layers of skin out, and until the initials were in my arm. And so it wasn't bleeding, but it was red, because I had gone in my skin quite a bit. And then it eventually scabbed over, and then it eventually turned into, I had a scar, and I still have the scar. I actually did it twice. And so I still have those scars. They're extremely faint. And the only times I can see them are if under certain light. So I remember noticing them like a few years ago. I'm like, oh my God, I still have a scar from that? That's crazy. So yeah, I did that. And, I mentioned this before. I have one tattoo. I only have one tattoo. And it is her initials. I heard a sound outside. Her initials on my chest. I think it's on the left side of my chest. Yeah. Right here, I guess, over my heart. It's very small, and it's very, it's faded. It's very faded, so you can't really see it. I mean, multiple of my videos have been shirtless lately, and I don't think you can even see that I have a tattoo. Anyway, my tattoo was inspired by me carving it into my arm. Having a tough time speaking. The initials into my arm. So I did this first. I did this when I was like 15, my arm. And then I got the tattoo when I was 16. And I remember going into the tattoo place to talk to the artist, and I tried to describe to him, could you make it look like the tattoo was carved into my skin? And so he made it red, and yeah, so that's that. And so the reason I did it, I carved it into my arm, was because I was inspired by this guy when I was in the 7th grade actually. So when I was 16, it was 1999. The year was 1999. So when I was in the 7th grade, I don't even know how old I was. I was like 10 or 11 or something. So like, if I remember correctly, it's like 93 or 94. No. 94. It would have been 94. Yeah. 1994, long time ago, the year Kurt Cobain shot himself, I believe. Anyway, in the homeroom, so I don't know if everyone has homeroom, but homeroom, so that school, it was a junior high school, grade 6 to grade 8. And none of this has to do with anything. We're gonna get to the music eventually, but we have a little bit of a story time. So, homeroom, it was grade 6 to grade 8. And so for the homeroom, you go there at the beginning of the day. And then once school starts, you go to your classes. But every day, every morning, you have to go to homeroom. And so each homeroom has students from all the grades. So my homeroom had people from grade 6 to grade 8. And so one of the guys in my homeroom, his name was Sky. I believe it was Skye. Now, I don't know if that was his actual name or if this was just some sort of nickname or I don't know what the word is. But I don't know if it was real or not. Anyway, this guy was like a goth or an emo or whatever. And he had a girlfriend who was also goth or email. Goth or email? I think I just called her emo. And he carved her initials or her name, I forget which, into his arm. And I remember that. I still remember that because people were talking about that one day in homeroom, how Sky did that to his arm. And so I was inspired by that. I guess I never forgot it. I still haven't forgotten it. So how's that for story time? All right, should we start talking about... I think I got through most of my stuff already. Okay, so we've done the artwork. We talked about all the other stuff. Yeah, so we're going to talk about this now. So Acoustic Despair, very sad sounding album. It has despair in the title, which means it's super sad. So this is an interesting album. Let's just read the description here. Songs on the acoustic guitar. Most of these songs are the original versions of some songs from Forever Trapped in a Broken Mirror, recorded in 2003, 2004, and 2008. The one that was recorded in 2008, this is like a bonus track. This album was released in 2004. It wasn't really an album. It was sort of just like a demo. Like it wasn't really an album. It was a demo. But then on Bandcamp, I added this one onto it as a bonus track. This track right here, this is the audio from one of my YouTube videos. I believe it's the first scrapped shard. I believe that's what it's called. Yeah. But what am I talking about here? Yeah. So Forever Trapped in Broken Mirror, we've talked about that album multiple times. Here it is right here. No, where is it? Here it is right here. And here is right here. There are multiple iterations of Forever Trapped in a Broken Mirror, multiple recording sessions. It is a very big album. That was what I started writing that in 2001, a long time ago. And so I started writing, it's a death metal album. And then in the year 2003, I stopped playing electric guitar for whatever reason. I don't remember why. I only played acoustic guitar. However, I was still writing songs like death metal songs, but it was on the acoustic guitar. I just really liked how the acoustic guitar sounded. It sounded very nice, and it did influence my songwriting. You try to play death metal, the fast death metal stuff on acoustic guitar, and it's quite tricky. So I sort of relied more on, ringing notes, because the acoustic guitar sounds very nice with the ringing notes and that sort of stuff and like chords and whatnot. But it was still death metal. I was still writing like death metal / black metal on the acoustic guitar. And so I continued writing Forever Trapped in a Broken Mirror on the acoustic guitar. And then once I was finally finished the album, I was going to record it with an electric guitar. I was writing it on the acoustic guitar. I was writing many of the songs on the acoustic guitar. And so that changed. Like I said, changed the songwriting, and the album turned out really, really well. I was super happy with how it turned out. However, what I'm talking about and the reason for this album is, these are the original versions of some of those songs from Forever Trapped in a Broken Mirror. These are the original versions on the acoustic guitar, how they were written in their original written form. So this is a pretty interesting album, at least for me, because this is how the songs were written. And so, yeah, that's why it's interesting. And so this song right here, there are a couple of these songs are not on Forever Trapped in Broken Mirror. So this one is not. This one, Drifting Through Astral Fog, is not. This is the only recording of this song ever. So that's pretty interesting. Dormant Consciousness didn't make it on Forever Trapped in Broken Mirror. It was supposed to be, but it didn't. There are a couple different recordings of this song. There's even a video of this. Abandoned by the Spirits. This is exclusive to this album as well. So we have a couple exclusive songs to this album, which is pretty cool. And the rest are on Forever Trapped in Broken Mirror. Or on other albums as well. Okay, and so for this one, Acceptance Then Anger, this is actually... So we're going to listen to 3 different things, if I remember correctly. We're going to listen to the song that someone listened to, obviously. And then we're going to listen to the tab. I'm just wondering what order we should do it in. We also have the tab. So we have this song, we have the tab, and then we have the Forever Trapped in Broken Mirror version of it, which is electric guitar and drums. This is just acoustic guitar. So it's going to be a nice sort of varied listening night tonight. So we got acoustic, then we have a tab with the piano sound, and then we have the death metal / black metal version of the song. So pretty interesting night tonight. Had a couple stories, and just trying to think if we should say anything else here. Okay, my hair. Talk about my hair again. How awesome my hair was. This is, I mean, this is a still from one of the videos that we've watched already. Trying to think. I think it's the Shard 13 video, which, yeah, I believe that's what this is. It's like the death metal song. But yeah, I had very nice hair. This picture is from 2003. It was, I don't know if it was before or after this. So I recorded 3 of these songs in 2003, then the rest were 2004, and then this was 2008. This one was recorded with my classical guitar. All the rest were with this acoustic right here. This acoustic guitar here is in the back room with the strings cut. This was featured on the Balloon in the Guitar video. So every time I go in the room, it's just sitting on a mattress with cut strings and a bag of balloons next to it. Yeah, so okay, so I think we're going to listen to the song now, and I'm going to make some popcorn. Now, the title, Acceptance Then Anger, I don't know. I don't really know what I was going for with the title. You know, these 2003 songs, they have similar titles. I wanted the first and the last words to have the same letter, starting letter. So F and F, S and S, A and A, then. So obviously there's a theme there. But yeah. Okay, so I'm going to make some popcorn and we will be back. Hey guys, we are back and I got my popcorn. So this is the medium white hull-less, I believe. This is my new favorite apparently. So it tastes very good. It's nice and warm. So let's listen to Acceptance Then Anger. This is from the year 2003. And once again, try not to cut yourself when you're listening to this because it's a very, very sad sounding song. It's not that sad. Well, there are a couple sad parts. There's one really cool part that I like. So let's listen. Yeah, this part is very emotional. Yeah, it's very emotional. Yeah. Yeah, I love this album. I really love this album. Another thing with the acoustic guitar, you could really focus on the melody with those ringing notes. We haven't really come across the ringing notes yet. However, because I like using a lot of distortion on my electric guitar, and so sometimes the melodies can get lost when you're playing chords and stuff on the electric guitar. You can't really make out all the notes, but on the acoustic, they just sound so good. That part there, when I start strumming the chord again, when I start strumming again, there's like a very brief moment at the very beginning when I start strumming where I haven't quite hit the chord yet with my fretting hand, and so it doesn't sound very good. I'll try to rewind it. This part coming up, I love so much. This is my favorite part of the song. That part sounds a lot better on the like the final version with the electric guitar and the drums, because it's very heavy. Like everything's going, the drums and the electric guitar, the distorted guitar are going, and then all of a sudden it just gets super quiet and it's just the clean guitar playing that, doing that arpeggio or whatever. And it sounds so good. We're gonna hear that after this. Those are palm muted power chords. So that's a style from death metal that I brought over to the acoustic guitar. Another thing with the acoustic guitar, I tuned it down really low. Like, I don't know what, this is probably tuned to B at least. And what was this? There's a hockey game. I'm a little distracted here. A hockey game. This is game 5 and first period. Florida, Edmonton. Series is tied at 2. So whoever wins this has a chance to win the Stanley Cup in the next game. So that's pretty interesting. And someone just hit the post, and so my eyes were wandering over there. And yeah, the cool thing about playing the acoustic guitar, when you tune it down, it sounds really heavy too when you play like heavy style guitar, like with the palm mutes and stuff. So that was a cool thing about that as well. go. Good song. Great album. Drifting Through Astral Fog, Abandoned by the Spirits, these are two songs that are exclusive to this album. They're banger songs as well. So hopefully we get some more listens from this album because I love this album so much. All right, so we listened to the acoustic version of the song, the original version of the song. So it's very interesting. Now, one thing I forgot to mention, I remember, I don't know when, but I remember showing my mom a version of this, like this song, the one we just listened to. I had it on like a CDR, I guess. I don't know. I don't remember why I showed it to her. We were in the car or something. And I showed it to her. And she said she really liked it. My mom said she liked my song. But I think she was like surprised that, because my normal music was, death metal. And this is an acoustic song. So she was like surprised. Oh, he actually knows what melody is and stuff like that. Anyway, I can't remember where that was, what year it was. I don't remember. But that is something I remember. I remember showing this to my mom in the car. Okay. So now the question is, do we listen to the metal version or do we listen to the tab? I think we're going to do the tab first. All right, so let's go to tabs, obviously. So we have a couple different versions of the tab. It's sorted by date, so we'll go by date. I'm trying to remember, because this was written a long time ago. It was in 2002. The first, actually, I think it's this one right here. Yeah. We're not going to listen to this tab, but this is the song that we just heard. And so most of the riffs that we have already been written. This is from 2002. New black metal death song. Okay. So that's kind of interesting. However, we're going to scroll down a little further. And so that was late 2002. That was December 29th, I believe. So we have to look for part 7-1. So that's what this is. That is the production number, the part 7-1. This popcorn is amazing, by the way. Amaze balls. And then this still isn't the final version of the tab. There's another version when I retabbed everything in 2006. In 2006 to do my final recording session, I retabbed this as well. But we're going to listen to this version of the tab. This has an extra little part that was originally going to be in the song. Where is it right here? This little thing right here, this lead part, this is going to be piano. And I remember recording the piano, but for some reason it never, like I programmed the piano and it's MIDI. And so I made it like a WAV file or whatever. And for some reason it never made it onto the final version. I don't know why. It might have been a timing issue. No, it couldn't have been a timing issue. I was going to say, because I had timing issues before when I used to, before I got the whole computer, recording on the computer thing sorted out, I would sort of record onto a cassette tape, and then I would line in the cassette tape into my computer if I wanted to record a WAV file of MIDI, or if I wanted to record my program drums, because you weren't able to save it as a WAV file. So there's a lot of convoluted BS that I had to do in order to digitize stuff or to create WAV files. But I don't know. I don't know why this didn't exist. However, we're going to hear it tonight. So let's listen to the tab. This is part 7-1. By the way, another thing that I don't know, I feel like I never mentioned this. All this old music, it has an alternate tuning. I've talked about the alternate tuning before. It's so like your second string, the second highest string, it's tuned one semitone up than a typical guitar. So, I use a 6 string, but it's tuned as if you were playing a 7 string that had no high E strings. No, you know what I mean? I say that every time, but so whenever you see 6, so here's a 6 right here on the 2nd string. Now, if this was tuned normally, I don't know, I guess it would be 7, right? I don't know. Either way, you can try and do the math yourself, but yeah, so with this alternate tuning, I would utilize the open strings a lot. And so if you were to tune it normally, it would be a lot of the riffs would be very difficult to play, if not impossible, to play as intended because they involved the open strings. So. All right, there you go. There's your tab. Okay, so now we're going to listen to the Forever Trapped in Broken Mirror version. I believe it's Shard 24. It's the 7th track on the 2006 version of Forever Trapped in a Broken Mirror. So we've talked about this album before. Yeah, number 7. It's just a coincidence that it's part 7.1 and that's track 7 on this. Pure coincidence. Okay, so we've already heard the song, but let's listen for the 3rd time. 3rd time's a charm. This is the metal version, the death metal version. This version of the song is tuned to C, so obviously the other ones were tuned lower because this, I can already tell that this is higher slightly. By the way, I didn't mention It said that this song was written at least in 2002. Apparently the tab was from late 2002, so I probably had just turned 20. So that's how old I was back then. That's kind of interesting, I guess. Barely legal. A lot hotter than I am now, that's for sure. I think that's in 11/8 time. So that's kind of interesting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, my favorite part is coming up. Yeah, I love that. It's all heavy, a lot of distortion, a lot of drums, and the drums do a fill at the very end, and then it goes into this, the drums are just counting on the ride, and then you have the nice clean guitar playing that very sad sounding riff, and yeah, that's definitely my favorite part of the song. It's not just the clean guitar part; it's the lead up to it, where it goes from heavy to mellow, or you know what I'm trying to say? It's the juxtaposition. There you go. There you have it. There's the third time we've listened to it. So I think that's going to be it for the video. I do like that song. There are parts that I'm not a huge fan of, but obviously the song, the part that I mentioned being my favorite part, I still love that. I like the intro to the song as well, like the first part of the song. It sounds really good on the on this version, the the death metal version / black metal. This song is more like black metal-ish, but this was from the year 2006, almost 20 years ago. Almost. I guess one more year and it'll be 20 years. Anyway, that's gonna be it. So keep your eyes peeled. The Genie.